Hello and welcome to Drpeel Music Podcast, the talk series, my solo pod in the YouTube world. This episode is going to be a little different, a bit calmer, a bit warmer, and with a clear Christmas feel to it. If you're listening to this while wrapping presents, driving through winter roads, or just sitting somewhere with a guitar on your lap, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Today I want to talk about guitar playing and guitar gear through the lens of the holidays. Slowing down, reflecting, enjoying tone for what it is, and maybe finding some inspiration during a time when things don't always have to be loud, fast, and or perfect. This is not the top 10 pedals of the year episode. It's more of a fireside conversation for guitar players. So grab your cup of coffee, tea, or maybe some mulled wine, and let's get into the guitarist Christmas. Christmas is often a strange time for a musician. On one hand, life gets busy, family, food, travel, obligations. On the other hand, there's often a small pocket of quiet time that appears out of nowhere. And I think that's something I think guitar players can really use. Less pressure to practice correctly. More permission to just play. Picking up the guitar with no agenda. Playing short sessions, but more often. Some of my favorite guitar moments haven't come from structured practice routines. They come from sitting down for 10 minutes late in the evening playing some simple stuff like a chord progression, a melody, or even just a noise. Christmas tie-in. There's something about winter and darkness outside that make guitar tones feel different. Clean tones feel warmer, fuzz feels thicker, and reverb suddenly makes more sense. The sound of Christmas, guitar tones that fits the season. This is a perfect section for gear-focused but relaxed tone discussion. If there's one type of guitar tone that fits Christmas perfectly, it's a good clean or edge of breakup sound. Not a sterile clean, but something with a bit of warmth and movement. You can try out the neck pickup, which naturally is one gives a warmer tone. Can roll back the tone knob a little bit and also use a little bit of light compression. And to that you can add some small amount of spring or plate reverb. See what that takes you. You don't need a big rig for this. A simple amp, one overdrive set very low, and your guitar's volume knob can get you surprisingly far. Some ambient and space. Christmas is also a great excuse to use more space in your sound. Longer delays, slight shimmer, reverb that feels too much, but somehow isn't. You could also try to play something a little bit slower than you used to, letting the notes ring out. And just try certain things out during this. And you can also play less and listen more. Sometimes I find myself trying to play everything and a lot and so on. And I think sometimes you can play less. And it's getting more interesting in some way to just concentrate on which part to play and so on. How about some fuzz in the seasonal rig? Even fuzz can be Christmas sound if you treat it right. A fuzz pedal with the guitar volume rolled back can sound almost woolly, soft and surprisingly emotional. And if you have different kinds of fuzz pedals, germanium fuzz pedals or others, try them out. And if you are used to cranking the fuzz up to max, try to roll it back and experiment with the fuzz sound, and even with the volume knob and tone knob on the guitar with the fuzz. And you can also try the fuzz in different parts of your effects guitar pedal rig. So how about practice during Christmas? Yeah, you can practice during. You may have more time to sit and practice and so on. You can do this in a different way if you want to. You can set no strict goals, no metronome guilt, and focus on the feel instead of all other things that you sometimes tend to focus on when practicing the rest of the year. You could some Christmas friendly activities. Learn one song very slowly. Revisit an old riff that you haven't been playing for years. Play along to records. That is something that you can try out. And exploring guitar volume and tone knobs. That is something that you can combine and try out. And this time of year it's perfect for reconnecting with why you play guitar in the first place. Not to impress, not to optimize, just to enjoy sound and the touch and feeling of the guitar. Sometimes Christmas can be associated with new gear and new pedals, new guitars, new cables, straps, picks, and everything you can come up with. But one of the healthiest thing you can do as a guitar player is to really learn the gear you already have. And this is a thing that I have thought a lot, and I have pedals that I have tried, and I tried them once and twice, and then they are on the shelf. And some pedals are too complicated or just didn't feel right at that point. So that is one tip. You can revisit old pedals and try to dig into the settings of that pedal. And try out how they sound in the setup you have at the moment and so on. And you can also do the experiment of changing the pedal order and so on. And I did in the beginning of this year, I started to think I should only use 3 pedals and an amp and one guitar, and that is my setup. All I want to play, I just have to stick to those 3 pedals. And what I said to myself was that I'm going to dial in and tweak this pedal to sound the way I want them to sound for different options and different music and so on. But I was limited to those pedals, and it was quite fun and interesting to think about that, because it's easy to have too many pedals where you have one overdrive sound and one distortion sound, and you just change the pedals. But when you force yourself to really use the limited pedals that you have, then it's getting creative. And another thing that is interesting is to try to dial in tones at lower volumes and see what's happening, and change the volume in different parts of the guitar rig. You might already own the best pedal for Christmas guitar tones. You just haven't turned it on in a while. That is something that you can think about. Maybe you already have that perfect pedal. Just find it in your sound exploring. Well, Christmas is a fantastic time to listen, and really listen to guitar playing. And you can dive into different music styles and so on. If you have streaming services for music, or you have a huge vinyl collection or CD collection, go through that and find different types of guitar records that you haven't listened to in a while. Maybe you can specialize on a certain style, like ambient guitar records. Go back and find some old soul and rhythm blues records and songs, and listen to that. And really do a deep listen to how the guitar is sounding, and try to think, how did they get this sound, and so on. You can listen to classic rock ballads or instrumental soundscapes or anything, and even go down the acoustic record sections and just listen to guitars in different styles and genres and so on. And listen with focus. And you really dig into the music. Yes, as we wrap this up, I just want to say this. You don't have to become a better guitarist over Christmas. You don't have to master new scales or finally fix your picking technique. If all you do is enjoy the sound of your guitar a little bit more, that's more than enough. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever you play, and whatever gear you have, I hope you get a few quiet moments with your instrument over the holidays. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting this podcast. And I wish you a calm, creative, and guitar-filled Christmas. And so see you in the next episode. Thank you very much.